Welcome back to MLB pregame tonight. Game 7 of the World Series between the Yankees and the Mets. It should be a huge game. We're here at Citi Field where it should be a great game. I'm here with Liam and Andy. Andy, who do you think is going to be the X factor for the New York Yankees tonight?
I think for New York Yankees tonight, it has got to be Aaron Judge. You've seen how he has performed in the past few months. It's just phenomenal. He's been getting a ton of home runs, which has definitely paid off for their team. And I think with the last clutch home run, they can hopefully get this game in their hands.
Liam, who do you think the X factor will be for the Mets today?
Honestly, I have two X factors for the Mets tonight. First off, I think I got Starling Marte as the number one X factor for the Mets. I mean, you've seen how he's performed this season. He's been a huge number 2 spot hitter for the Mets, getting a million base hits. He has an over 300 batting average this year, and the Mets are going to be looking for a big game out of him, and they're also going to be looking for a big game out of Pete Alonso, the biggest power hitter, maybe even the best power hitter on the planet aside from Aaron Judge, who my colleague just talked about. Pete Alonso has been the heart and soul of this Mets offense for the entire year. When he's going, it seems like everything's going the Mets' way. If Pete Alonso can get on fire tonight and get a few base hits, I think the Mets can get this game in their hands.
Yeah, I totally agree with X Factor pitching matchup of DeGrom and Garrett Cole. It should be a huge game. What do you have as the keys to the game for the Mets? Andy.
Well, for the Mets, even though I believe the Yankees will win, the Mets have just an amazing pitching core. They have an amazing hitting core with around at least 4 or 5 X-factor players, in my opinion. But I still think, even though they have the advantage here, the Yankees can pull off a tiny bit of an upset against them.
And Liam, what do you think is the strategy coming in if you're the Yankees manager?
If I'm the Yankees manager, I'm going to be looking to just get on base against Jacob deGrom. I mean, you gotta make sure your players are smart at the plate. They're disciplined, right? You got to make sure they're not just swinging for the fences every time. They need base runners, especially if you get base runners when your big hitters like Aaron Judge are up. When DJ LeMahieu's up, you want him leading off, getting on base for Aaron Judge. You want people on base for Aaron Judge, because if Aaron Judge is up with nobody on base, even if he gets a hold of one off of Jacob deGrom, which is very rare to see hitters do nowadays against Jacob deGrom, well, it won't do much if you only get one run. It's still a huge run, especially in a Game 7, but if you can get runners on base for Aaron Judge, that's got to be your number one priority.
Yeah, base traffic will be really important. Andy, how much of a factor you think playing it at Citi Field will be to the Yankees?
I think for the Yankees, that is a little bit of a disadvantage for them. Obviously, it's not much, but it really brings back the Subway Series vibes. And if the Mets can get their fan base really good, it might motivate their players just a little bit, which the Yankees can't have, because even though they're only a few miles away, there's a lot of Mets fans that are going to be there.
Yep, it is packed just about 50-50, maybe leaning a little bit towards the Mets and Citi Field. This is a great World Series. Liam, who do you think will be the World Series MVP?
World Series MVP. That's got to be a tough one. If I'm going World Series MVP, assuming the Mets win, I think I gotta go Pete Alonso if we're going postseason MVP, because Pete Alonso so far this postseason, again, been the heart and soul of the Mets all season, and especially in this postseason, taking a huge step up in pretty much almost carrying the Mets offense. Without him, the Mets would not be as dynamic as they are right now. So I think I gotta go Pete Alonso as the World Series MVP, having a couple home runs in this series. And back to the home field advantage. The Mets the Mets in the regular season swept the series at home. They went 2-0 against the Yankees. Both were close games, but the Mets fans had a huge part in that.
All right, last second predictions. Who do you have winning in the score?
I got the Mets winning in a close game. I got 5-4 Mets.
I have the Yankees winning 5-3, Aaron Judge being the World Series MVP.
I totally agree with you. I believe that the final score will be 6-4 Yankees with a 3-run home run off Aaron Judge to seal the deal.
Okay, we'll be right back after a short commercial break. We'll be down at the field.